He shouts, "Roll the camera! Don't stop, no matter what happens!" The child freezes. Tears sit heavy in her eyes, but she doesn't move. The room is too quiet, too tense, too unfamiliar for someone her age. A cheap ring light burns into her face, turning fear into content. "Smile!" he snaps, his voice sharper now. "You're supposed to smile!" "I'm tired," she whispers. He steps closer, crouching in front of her, forcing a softer tone that doesn't reach his eyes. "Just one more take, okay? After this, you'll get food." She nods weakly, because that's the deal. That's always the deal. And behind the camera, the numbers keep rising. Views, likes, comments, money. His name is Daniel, and right now, he's winning. The video cuts perfectly. The emotion looks real. The struggle looks raw. The audience loves it. "Man, this is gold," his assistant says, scrolling through early engagement. "This one will blow up overnight." Daniel leans back, a slow smile spreading across his face. "I told you, people don't just watch content anymore. They feel it. And these kids," the assistant hesitates slightly, "they deliver." Daniel shrugs. "They need the money. I need the story. Everybody wins." But not everybody does. Across the small room, the girl wipes her face quietly. No one is looking at her anymore. The camera is off, and so is the interest. "Can I go now?" she asks. Daniel doesn't even turn. "Wait outside." She nods and walks out slowly, shoulders heavy, steps dragging. The assistant watches her leave, something unsettled flickering in his expression. "You think we're pushing it too far?" Daniel laughs. "Too far?" he repeats. "This is what works. You think people want happy, perfect lives? No. They want struggle. They want pain. They want something they can cry to and share." He leans forward slightly. "And I give it to them." The assistant doesn't respond, because deep down, he knows something is off. But the money is too good to question. And Daniel stopped questioning a long time ago. The story shifts slightly, slowing just enough to show how it all started. He wasn't always like this. There was a time Daniel struggled too. A time he chased opportunities that never came, ideas that never worked, dreams that never paid. Until one day, he stumbled on something. A video. A simple clip of a struggling child telling a story. Raw, unfiltered, painfully real. And it exploded. Millions of views, thousands of comments, endless sympathy. And that's when it clicked. Emotion sells. But real emotion? That's priceless. So he started small, helping at first. Or at least, that's what he told himself. He visited poor neighborhoods, connected with old friends who hadn't been as lucky, offered opportunities. "Let me feature your child," he would say. "People will donate. It'll help your family." And at first, it did. Money came in. Small amounts, enough to build trust, enough to silence doubt. But as the channel grew, so did the hunger. Because now it wasn't about helping, it was about scaling. "More emotion," he would say. "More intensity. Make it feel real." And slowly, the line disappeared. The children weren't just telling stories anymore. They were living them. Scripted hardship, staged hunger, forced tears. All for the camera. All for content. One evening, he sits across from his childhood friend, Musa, the father of the little girl from earlier. Musa's face is tired, worn by years of struggle, but there's still dignity in the way he carries himself. "She cried a lot today," Musa says quietly. Daniel waves it off. "That's part of it. It makes the story stronger." "She said she was scared." Daniel sighs, leaning back. "Look, Musa, do you want this to work or not?" Musa hesitates, because he does. He needs it to. "There's money coming in, right?" Daniel continues. "You've seen it." Musa nods slowly. "Then trust me," Daniel says. "This is how we grow it. This is how we make sure your family never struggles again. Musa looks down at his hands. Silence stretches between them. Finally, he nods again. Okay. And just like that, another line is crossed. The narrator's tone tightens slightly, pulling the tension deeper. Because sometimes, the most dangerous choices aren't made out of greed. They're made out of desperation. And Daniel knows exactly how to use that. Days turn into weeks, and the channel explodes. Videos go viral one after another. People share them with captions filled with sympathy and tears. This broke me. I couldn't stop crying. Let's help this child. Money floods in, but not where it should. Daniel upgrades his life quickly. Better equipment, better house, better car. While the families, they get just enough to stay quiet, just enough to stay dependent. You're doing good, his assistant says one night. Really good. Daniel smirks. I'm just getting started. But not everyone is blind. A woman watches from her phone late at night. She rewinds one of his videos. Then another. Then another. Her eyes narrow slightly. Something isn't right. The emotions look real. Too real. Too consistent. Too perfectly timed. She pauses the video on the child's face. Fear. Not performance. Fear. Her name is Ada, and unlike the others, she doesn't just watch, she questions. Back in Daniel's world, everything feels untouchable. He stands in front of a mirror, adjusting his shirt, checking his image before filming a behind-the-scenes video. We're changing lives out here, he says to the camera with a practiced smile. This isn't just content, it's impact. The irony doesn't reach him, because in his mind, he believes it. Or at least, he needs to. The next shoot begins. Another child, another story, another setup. Remember, Daniel says, kneeling in front of the boy. You haven't eaten in 2 days, okay? The boy looks confused. But I ate this morning. Daniel's smile tightens. For the story, he says slowly. You haven't eaten. The boy nods hesitantly. Good, Daniel says. Now let's make it real. The camera rolls, and somewhere, far away, Ada presses play again. This time, she starts recording. If you're still watching this story, pause for a second and think. Would you have noticed something was wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like the video so more people can see stories like this. Because what happens next changes everything. Ada doesn't stop at watching. She starts digging. Profiles, locations, patterns. The same children appearing in different situations. The same clothes. The same background details. Different stories, same reality. Got you, she whispers under her breath. But she needs more. Proof. Real proof. And that means getting closer. Back in Daniel's world, the pressure increases. Not from guilt, from competition. Views are dipping on the last upload, his assistant says cautiously. Daniel frowns. Then we push harder. How? Make it worse. The assistant hesitates. Worse? How? Daniel's voice drops slightly. More pain, more stakes. Something that makes people stop scrolling. The assistant swallows. You mean, like, danger? Daniel looks at him, and for a moment, there's no mask. Exactly. The room goes quiet, because now, this isn't just manipulation. It's escalation. And once that door opens, it doesn't close easily. The next shoot is different, more intense, more controlled. The child doesn't just act scared this time. He is scared. Please, the boy whispers, tears forming. Keep going, Daniel says from behind the camera. And that's when something shifts. Not in the video, in reality. Because lines have consequences, and Daniel has crossed too many. Far away, Ada finally gets what she needs. A location, a time, a chance. She grabs her bag, her phone, and heads out without hesitation. "This ends today," she says. And somewhere, without knowing it yet, Daniel's perfect world is about to crack. Ada doesn't knock. She pushes the gate open and steps in, like someone who already knows what she's about to find. The compound is quiet at first glance, but the silence feels wrong, staged, like something has been paused just before she arrived. She hears it before she sees it. A child's voice. Soft. Shaking. "Please, can I stop now?" Ada's jaw tightens. She moves closer. Careful, her phone already recording. Then she sees them. The light, the camera, the setup, and Daniel. "Don't break character," he says coldly. "We're almost done." The boy wipes his tears, trying to hold it together. Ada steps forward. "Or maybe you're done already." Everything stops. Daniel turns slowly, confused at first, then irritated. "Who are you?" Ada doesn't answer immediately. She lifts her phone slightly. "Someone who's been watching." The assistant freezes. Daniel scoffs. "This is private property." "And that," Ada replies, gesturing toward the child, "is a crime." The word hangs heavy. The assistant shifts nervously. "Daniel, relax," Daniel mutters under his breath, then steps toward Ada with a forced smile. "You're misunderstanding what's happening here." "Am I?" She fires back. He spreads his hands slightly. "We're helping these kids, giving them a platform, opportunities." Ada lets out a quiet, disbelieving laugh. "By making them cry on command? By lying about their lives for views?" Daniel's expression hardens. "You don't understand how this works." "No," Ada says sharply. "I understand exactly how this works." She steps closer now, her voice lower but more intense. "You found vulnerable families. You built trust. And then you turned their pain into profit." The silence that follows is thick, because it's true. And for the first time, Daniel doesn't have an immediate response. The assistant looks between them, tension rising. "Maybe we should just leave?" Daniel snaps. "No." He looks back at Ada, his tone colder now. "Put the phone down." Ada doesn't move. "Or what?" she asks. For a second, it looks like he might try something. Then he stops, because even he knows it's too late. Ada smiles faintly. "That's what I thought." She turns, walking toward the child instead. "Hey, it's okay. You don't have to do this." The boy looks at Daniel, afraid, conflicted. Daniel clenches his jaw. "Go," he mutters. The boy doesn't wait. He runs. And just like that, control slips. Ada turns back to Daniel. "I'm not here to argue." "Then what do you want?" he asks, frustration creeping in. She meets his eyes. "The truth." He laughs bitterly. "People don't want the truth. They want stories." "Then let's give them one," she replies. And with that, she walks out. But she doesn't leave empty-handed, because what she recorded, it's enough. More than enough. The next few hours feel normal. Too normal. Daniel paces his living room, running everything through his head. "She won't do anything," he mutters. The assistant doesn't look convinced. "She looked serious." "People always look serious," Daniel snaps. "It doesn't mean they act." But even as he says it, doubt creeps in, because something about her was different. Not loud, not emotional, focused. And people like that don't bluff. His phone buzzes. He grabs it quickly. A notification. Then another. Then another. His expression changes. "What?" the assistant asks. Daniel doesn't respond immediately. He just stares at the screen. Watching, reading, processing. And then... No. "What is it?" Daniel turns the phone around. The assistant's eyes widen. It's a video. Ada's video. Already spreading. Fast. Too fast. The footage is clear. The voices are undeniable. The truth? Exposed. "This can't be happening," Daniel whispers. But it is, and it's only just begun. The comments flood in. Anger, shock, disbelief. "You exploited them? This is disgusting! Unsubscribe! Report him!" The same audience that once praised him turns, instantly, violently. Because trust, once broken, doesn't bend. It snaps. Daniel scrolls faster, panic rising. No, they don't understand. But they do. For the first time, they do. The assistant steps back slightly. "We need to respond." "Yes," Daniel says quickly. "Damage control. Apology video. We fix this." But even as he speaks, more notifications come in. Worse ones. His account? Flagged. Videos? Taken down. Sponsorships? Gone. Everything he built starts collapsing in real time. "This is bad," the assistant mutters. Daniel shakes his head. No, I can recover from this." But he's not convincing anyone. Not even himself. At this point in the story, do you think he deserves what's happening to him right now? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because the ending of this story is something you don't want to miss. The fallout doesn't stop online. It spreads. Fast. Parents begin to talk. "What did you do to our children?" one mother demands, storming into his compound. Daniel tries to stay calm. "It's not what it looks like." "My son hasn't slept properly in days!" she shouts. Another voice joins. "You lied to us! You used them!" The anger builds. Voices overlap. Accusations pile up. And Daniel? He has no answers left. Musa steps forward slowly. Quiet, but more dangerous than the rest. "You said you would help us," Musa says. Daniel swallows. "I did. You helped yourself," Musa cuts in. Silence falls again, because this isn't just about money. It's about betrayal, and that cuts deeper. Musa looks him in the eye. "My daughter trusted you." Daniel looks away, because that's the one thing he can't face. The trust, the innocence, the damage, and now the consequences. The authorities get involved. Questions turn into investigations. Investigations turn into charges. Daniel sits in a cold room, facing people who don't care about his excuses. "You manipulated minors. You profited from false narratives. You caused psychological harm." Each sentence lands like a hammer. "This wasn't illegal," Daniel argues weakly. One of them leans forward. "It is now." And just like that, the illusion of control disappears completely. The assistant is gone. The sponsors are gone. The audience is gone. All that's left is reality. And reality doesn't care about views. Days turn into weeks, but things don't calm down. They get worse. Because the internet doesn't forget. Clips resurface. More stories come out. Other families speak up. "It wasn't just my child. He did the same thing to us." The pattern becomes undeniable. And Daniel, he becomes the example, the warning, the man who went too far. But the real cost isn't just his reputation. It's deeper, personal, permanent. His family feels it. His name carries it. Doors close before they open. Opportunities vanish before they form. "Your father is that man, right?" someone whispers. And just like that, the consequences spread beyond him. Generations affected, not by what he built, but by how he built it. One evening, Daniel sits alone. No camera, no audience, no performance. Just silence. He looks at his hands, the same hands that set up cameras, directed scenes, controlled narratives. Now, they shake. Not from fear, from realization. I lost everything, he whispers. But deep down, he knows the truth. He didn't lose it. He traded it, piece by piece, for views, for money, for something that was never meant to last. And now, there's nothing left to hold. The story slows, not to comfort, but to let it sink in. Because this wasn't just about one man. It was about choices. Small ones, repeated, ignored, until they became something irreversible. Ada watches from her phone again. But this time, she doesn't rewind. She doesn't analyze. She just exhales. Quietly. Because for her, it's over. But for Daniel, it never really will be. If this story kept you thinking, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. What would you have done differently if you were in his place? Because sometimes the scariest consequences aren't immediate. They grow, they spread, and they stay. He used his friend's children for content, and in the end, it didn't just ruin his life, it ruined everything that came after it.